Hello everybody, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. And in this video, I want to talk about the top 5 spawns. That's right, I decided to come out with this video. I was going to come out with this video a while ago, but I got held back for like a month and a half now. But I'm finally here bringing this video towards you because I think it'll be personally helpful. So I hope this helps you out, and let's get to it. Okay, so the first spawn that I think is like the best spawn overall of all the spawns in the game is the monster spawn. This monster spawns are like so freaking OP. It is ridiculous. Awakening is such more harder to obtain and to do than Infusion will ever be. Infusion will cost a little more when it gets to the 3rd and 4th level than Awakening, but with Infusion you have more of an option as well than Awakening. And Awakening, just the materials and the monsters are harder to get. As we all know, or if you don't know yet, getting monsters in Unison League is a lot harder than getting gear in Unison League. It is. It's nearly always been that way. It used to be heavily that way back then when they first, before like it even came out the special spawns or the step up spawns. They had special spawns, but they were like event spawns. Like they were 2nd anniversary, 1st anniversary type spawns and all that stuff. Now these are more common, but back then, like you could easily tell the difference between trying to obtain like a pay to win monster and just trying to obtain pay to win gear. Like gear was so much easier to obtain, and it's not even just gear, events too. Like the gear is so much more easier to obtain than the monster. It is ridiculous. And with this, it's just so much easier on you because you already have it awakened twice, and they have an option for 70 gems to have it the guaranteed 33 or 34 cost, and the 30 gem ones don't have bad rates for the 33 or 34 cost either, so it's honestly not a bad spot. I highly recommend it. Even if you don't get the monster of your stats, that's so much more or less awakening material you have to deal with. It is just ridiculous. It really is. Like if you already have a good monster, bright stats, but you don't have any awakening pods for it, you can just sacrifice the new monster you get into that monster if you don't have it at the right stats or whatever or what's so not. It's such a big discount. It is amazing. Okay, so the next one we have is the class spawn. Like said, it's pretty much like the monster spawn except for like the gear version. Monsters are a lot harder to obtain than gear, so class spawn's going to be in 2nd place, but class spawns are super nice and super OP spawns. If you're looking for quick gear score, I guarantee these spawns are D-way. Definitely D-way. You get to choose the weapon of your class. It's infused 4 times. The 4th infusion, when you get to the 4th and 5th infusion, they are pains, and I'll have it in the link below and why they are pains, and I'll have the link below and why awakening can be a pain too. But yeah, pretty much they are infused 4 times. You get to choose them, and on top of it, you get rates. You pretty much, like, they're not dead rates. Like, they're not 6% chance. You actually get a 2% chance extra on obtaining SSR weapons. And since you chose the spawn of your class, it's going to be more weapons around that class. So if you choose like an archer, and you went to go like spawn for the archer, right? If you get like more than one SSR, the SSR is going to be not more than one SSR, but more than one of the shiny little diamond thingies that show like the SSR symbol, then it's going to be of a bow or a gun. I had a hard time thinking of what it was, I'm sorry, but yeah, it's going to be a bow or another gun. So it's really nice spawn. I highly recommend it, and it is guaranteed. It is so much more friendlier. There will be some rates if you're looking for an exact weapon. It may be a little harder to obtain, but if you're looking for quick gear score, this definitely gets the job done. Like by far, highly recommended. Okay, so the next one is the special spawn. The special spawn is up next because it offers a monster spawn that's around as good as the step up spawn. I recommend the step up spawn a little more after the first time half off. The first time half off for the SSR gear piece, you definitely want to do. The SSR gear piece is still bugged. They still haven't fixed it because it looks to them like it has the same rates of a usual spawn and all the spawns they should have. When they first came out with the special spawn, it was bugged the crap out of. The only thing they didn't fix is the SSR gear piece because it at least looked like it had the right rates, so they carry that over to whatever they're doing now with the special spawn, and because of that, it's really easy to obtain 35, 34s cost monsters within the special spawn. So it's kind of like a step up spawn, to be fairly honest, except you're not just guaranteed like the monsters in general. You're also guaranteed other stuff as well, but they usually offer like the best stuff, the most pricey, costly stuff you could offer within the SSR gear piece. So it's very nice overall. They do have a crap ton of stuff, keep in mind, but for the most part, you're going to be getting the better stuff. I'm not gonna say it's guaranteed, but they have such high rates that it's very more likely than less likely you're going to get some of the higher cost stuff, especially the monsters. I have obtained a couple 35 monsters from here, I think one 34 monster from here, so that's very nice. But I didn't just put this here as number 3 just because of this. If that was the case, I would recommend the step up spawn a lot more, because first time half off ain't gonna do it. First time half off ain't gonna do it. I also put this here because they really offer a decent price for ethers. First time half off, definitely recommend it for the ether. Ether is really cheap for the first time half off. And then they offer awakening orbs here as well. Awakening orbs are really hard to obtain, so don't matter if it's first time half off or 30 gems. Awakening orbs are at the regular price, so definitely if you can grab these, I definitely would. This is why the special spawn is recommended, because of the awakening orbs, the ether, and the SSR gear piece spawn they got. So it's like a multitasking spawn. It has multiple reasons and why it's good, is not just one reason in general. Okay, so moving on from there, we have the step up spawn. Step up spawn will come 4th. I will talk about why the 5th one's coming 5th soon, but pretty much step up spawn offers monsters easily like 46 gems within 15, or not 15 but 16 gems, since you need to use 1 gem to spawn the first step, technically speaking. You could literally get some of these monsters within the first 16 gems you spawn. Not everybody, most, I'm not gonna say, actually like more people will actually obtain it, but the rates are dead. It's definitely possible to obtain some of the featured monsters within the featured list in the first, not the first, but the second step up. Definitely, they added rates up, so they have like a 2% more rates value system, so that way you could actually obtain them, sort of like the class spawns rate value system. So it's very, very nice. And then 30 gems, you're just straight up guaranteed one. So on top of the rates up for the second one, you're just straight up guaranteed one on your third spawn, and all it costs is 46 spawns. Now back then, these monsters used to be really hard, exclusive, and not friendly to obtain whatsoever. Pay to win monsters. They were not free to play friendly whatsoever in the past, and now they made them free to play friendly. Now the only issue with all the spawns that I talked about monster wise is they offer random stats. That's literally the only issue, and sometimes the step up spawn might have a huge gap between the monsters you can actually obtain in there. Other than that, this step up spawn is legitimately flawless. You don't have to go through summoning scrolls, you don't have to go through, oh, I gotta use like 10,000 medals, I have to spend hundreds and hundreds of gems, and then I'll finally get it. You don't have to go through that at all. 46 gems, step up spawn, you spawn, you might actually have a chance to attain like the highest cost monster in that step up spawn on your first try. The rates are dead. It will happen less likely than more, definitely, but they're not dead. You could absolutely obtain some of the nastiest stuff first try. I just want to let you know, it's like literally one of the best monster spawns in the game. And if monster spawn isn't out, because monster spawn, it comes out occasionally, they usually don't come out with it as much as the step up spawn. The step up spawn would be the next best way to get awakening material. If you have money and if you're interested in buying the awakening Nunus are much more safer and quicker process to obtain awakening material. Definitely recommend those. But when it comes to spawns, this is the second best way, and it's not a bad way either. There's a lot of people that have prospered from the step up spawn, easily went from like 4 or 5k to 7 and 8k. I've had a few people that used to watch my videos a lot that exponentially grew from gear score thanks to me just talking about the step up spawn and recommending it to them just in general. So yes, step up spawn is very nice, very handy, and very helpful. Okay, so the next one we have is the event spawn. Event spawn, well, not just event spawn, event spawns are super nice. Now this can vary anywhere between the first best spawns in the game to the 5th best spawns in the game, but it's somewhere around there. It's usually going to be in the 5th, because when it comes to event spawns, I mean spawns that only come out for a certain amount of time thanks to like timing occasionals like holidays, collabs. I'm talking stuff like that. Black Friday spawn, the previous Black Friday spawn counted as event spawn. Collabs, Christmas spawns, Thanksgiving spawns that they ever come out with them. Pretty much spawns that come out during a specific time of the year or specific times of the year, and they're really limited time, to be fairly honest. Those types of spawns are really nasty spawns sometimes, and I highly recommend it. Even if they aren't, the worst you could probably go for is a collab, and even with the collab, it's still a pretty dang cheap price, to be fairly honest. It is. It will be completely random on the weapon and armors you will be getting, but it is nice to actually do overall because it's pretty cheap and they offer up-to-date stuff. So definitely, this could vary depending on what it is. Like the Black Friday spawn, I think could easily go within, like, I wouldn't say the first, but it could be between, like, it really depends on what you think. I think it would be in the top 3. I don't think it would be the number 1. It really depends on what you view it as. Again, because remember, first time the cost was reduced to like a couple of gems. Then afterwards it went to like 30 and stuff like that. So that's why I say that. If it was just like 3 gems to spawn 5 times or whatever, it would be number 1 regardless. Like, there's no questions asked. It would be highly number 1. Like, it was such a nice spawn to do. It was amazing. I hope they come up with more spawns like that in the future. It was definitely a nice spawn. And the last thing is, before I actually end this video, I'm actually going to be doing a bonus. I'm going to be talking about my number 1 favorite pay-to-win spawns out, because maybe these will help you as well if you've reached to a certain point in the step-up spawn overall. Okay, so my favorite one pay-to-win spawns are... So I'm not exactly sure what to call these, but I'm gonna just call them discounted treasure spawns. These discounted treasure spawns are very nice and worked into my favor because I had horrible rates with, I wouldn't say horrible, but I just didn't have rates that work completely towards my favor and what I wanted when it comes to gear wise and what's so not. Like, I had good rates, but they weren't like favorable towards me, so I needed to work on that somehow, and these spawns allowed me to work on them, and it was not bad, to be fairly honest either. I got a lot from these spawns, so thank you to these spawns. First one is like the monster treasure spawn. They came out with these like a couple times and I haven't seen them ever since. Pretty much what they did was they offered like 2k in like the jackpot, like 2k medals. Like, they offered a crap ton of summoning scrolls, or they offered 2k medals in the jackpot. They offered 1k on the side, and then they offered another 500 on the side or something like that. And you're getting I think it was like 52,200. Yeah, it was 52,200 per each spawn. So it was like super freaking nice. Like, honestly, I spawned one time, right, and I straight up got 3k medals. 3k medals for 30 gems, bro. That's such a good deal to me, at least. Like, yeah, that's how I got my Aquarius, to be fairly honest. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have Aquarius at all. Aquarius does not like me whatsoever. Wait, Rise, so I'm not going to be able to obtain her just randomly off the bat. At least I don't think I will be able to, because each time I've ever tried to obtain Aquarius, like whatsoever, like at all, it just didn't work in my favor, like whatsoever. I obtained good stuff, absolutely, but like never like favorable towards what I actually need. So I had to obtain it somehow, and this actually was a pretty good way for me to obtain it. I think it took me like, actually it took me actually like 170 gems, but yeah, I finally obtained Aquarius. I actually spent more in the first time they ever had the special spawn. I'm talking like the special spawn when people were getting like Keyroid from just the SSR guaranteed, not even the monster feature piece, but like the SSR guaranteed. Like when they had 14% SSR rates on the special spawn, I actually spent more on that than I've spent in this treasure spawn. And I got Aquarius, so like, and on top of it, I got to choose the stats, so like, yeah, it was very, very nice. So definitely very nice treasure spawn. If your rates don't work in your favor, I definitely recommend this over doing the special spawn, a step up spawn, or whatever monster spawn there are over and over just to try to obtain the monster, because honestly it's not going to work in your favor and you're not even going to be able to choose the stats. So you might have to try it 1,000 times before you do that. I mean, they do offer really nice monsters and they could be your stats, definitely, but like if you're trying to work way more to your favor and more on a customizable scale, these types of spawns will help out more. The second one is the Misunari treasure spawn, or Liatsu treasure spawn / Misunari treasure spawn. Reason I love this one so much is the featured gear was literally the lowest rates you could get in the jackpot. So you were guaranteed some of the best skills at the time, still at this time in the game. They were art ofs. They either decrease physical, magical damage. But on top of it, both of these do it no matter which one you're going for. The 35 cost, I think it is. It's either 35 or 36 cost armor, I'm not sure. Or you're going for the 33 cost one in the Misanari one. They both reduce some type of damage, and they both filled Unison Gauge by 5 if they manage to proc. And let me tell you, especially in this treasure spawn, they were real easy to get, so it was real easy to infuse. It was real easy to obtain multiple of them, and what's so not it, the feature gear was literally the lowest rates in the treasure spawn. If you get to spawn and you went for the jackpot, literally the feature gear is the most common thing you would get. So one out of those, everything you got there, you would literally get dropped within the spawn itself, working on it. Now, of course, it's going to be random what actually drops from the jackpot from the feature gear list, but most of the time I got sort of the same stuff, to be fairly honest. I guess my rates were nice enough to give me the same stuff over and over, so pretty much I was getting kind of dupes. I wasn't getting complete dupes like over and over and over, but I'd say about, I had like a copy, like 2 copies of like the armors, to be fairly honest, except for like 1. So it was very nice because they were nice dupes, and to be fairly honest, because they were dupes, they were easy to infuse, and because they're easy to infuse, they're easy to get real quick gear score from, like real freaking quick. So yeah, very nice. And on top of it, like, these are really like top tier armors. Like, they really help me a lot in what I do, player versus enemy or player versus player wise. Not so much in guild battles, sadly, unless I was like a treasure hunter or like a tanky class or something, then it would help out a lot. But yeah, including Coliseum, like, I started doing the spawn around the same time as Coliseum, and then I became more strategic. My strategy became more wider when I could do in the Coliseum. And on top of it, I was dominating more battles in Coliseum. And it was all thanks to the Misanari treasure spawn, seriously. There was a couple times where I got weapons that I would never use for this occasion. But like when I was getting armors, and sometimes I even got the weapons that I really wanted, to be fairly honest, to get. And it was super freaking nice. So yes, this was a super awesome treasure spawn. Same for the monster treasure spawns. So I'm a big fan of discounted treasure spawns. They help me out a lot, to be fairly honest. They will take some they might take some money, to be fairly honest. They are whale type spawns, but they're really easy, cheap, and discounted, to be fairly honest, what a treasure spawn usually is. So they're very nice. If you're looking for more customizable rewards, or you're looking for more customizable gear that benefits towards you specifically, you definitely want to look into these a little bit more. They will be kind of costly, but for the most part, like I said, they're pretty dang cheap, to be fairly honest. Sometimes you'll even have better rates doing these actually than you would doing the generous but randomized spawns, like the special spawn, step up spawn, monster spawn, stuff like that. Well, not exactly monster spawn because they got like the awakening, but yeah, spawns like that. So thank you for tuning in, thank you for watching, and I hope this helped out. This is the Azraft, and I'll catch you in the next video. I'm out. Peace.